Good evening. BC's top doctors announced a major change in how the province handles the pandemic.
COVID-19, which upended our lives nearly 2 years ago, is now being managed more like the flu or common cold, even as hospitalizations set a new record today with 924 people being treated in healthcare facilities. As Penny Daflos reports, some critics worry the move comes too soon and could have impacts on the healthcare system.
BC's hospitals are so full they can no longer keep COVID-positive patients apart from others. Testing was overwhelmed last month, but now there are no lines because nearly everyone is being turned away without even a rapid test. Officials now say if you're sick, assume you have COVID, but only stay home till your fever passes or you feel better.
I absolutely recognize this as a shift, and it means we have to change our way of thinking.
Dr. Bonnie Henry is keeping masks and the few remaining restrictions in place, saying living with Omicron is
like how we manage other respiratory illnesses, even influenza or RSV or enteroviruses that cause the common cold.
Nobody cares. Nobody talks about us. We're just left in the wind to, I don't know, fend for ourselves.
It feels like betrayal. It feels like we're just forgotten, left to the side. She had a major open heart surgery in the fall.
Nearly 300,000 British Columbians are classified extremely clinically vulnerable, and many now find themselves
in this vortex of concern, and it's like nobody else sees what we see, and you don't see the risk.
The unfair impacts on those who can't work from home, or those who are at risk of a more severe illness of COVID-19. I think we do have to consider that.
I knew that this would come eventually one day. And even for me today, I'm like, oh, wow.
Even BC's medical community was surprised at the timing, considering the healthcare system is hanging by a thread.
I certainly hear from some colleagues that are concerned, are we moving too quickly? I certainly hear that from some colleagues. But I'll tell you, I also hear from colleagues that said, let's get on with this. This is such a pervasive infection now.
The data that I looked at earlier in the week did not look like hospitalizations had peaked yet.
I have two daughters had to get home because almost every one of their friends has had COVID in the last 2 weeks.
For terminal cancer patients like Jeremy, deciding whether to send his kids to school is fraught with concern, but not for their physical health.
Do I send my kids? I bring it to me. They kill me. Well, I won't actually care, but my kids have to live with that, right?